Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Blacksburg, Virginia, where I'll be fighting a 2,000-point battle between my Dark Angels and Evan from Facing the Great Tides, Tyranids. So the story that we've got going on here today is that the Dark Angels got word about a cult uprising that was occurring on this planet. They were overthrowing the planetary government. They were overthrowing all of the PDF forces on the planet. And rumor had it that there was a large leader to this cult, a shadowy leader that no one had really seen much of, that had been leading this cult in this uprising. So the Dark Angels, thinking that possibly it could be one of the fallen, and may as well go and purge some heretic scum off of an imperial planet that works for them. So they sent out a force to go track it down, see if it was one of the fallen. And see if not, just to cleanse the planet of that uprising. So they got to the planet and started fighting this cult, and they soon realized that it was in fact a Genestealer Cult uprising, not a Chaos Cult uprising, which left them in a bit of a pickle as the Hive Fleet descended upon them as they had cleansed the planet. So the Genestealer Cult itself got killed between the Dark Angels, and the arriving Tyranids got killed off. So now it's just left off with the Dark Angels versus the Hive Fleets that have come in to take over this planet and consume all of the biomass therein. So that's the story that we've got going on. We are going to be playing one of the ITC Champions missions. So we're playing mission number 3 of the Champions missions, which has the 4 objectives here, there, and there. The same thing with the ITC missions is always the same, where you have to control an objective for a turn to get a point. At the end of your turn to get a point, you have to kill something at the end of your turn to get a point. At the end of the game turn, whoever killed the most gets a bonus point. Whoever controls the most objectives gets a bonus point. And then if you can control all 4 objectives, you get the mission bonus point at the end of the turn there. So that's it. That's the mission that we're going to be playing. That's the story that we're going to be playing. Before we go any further, let's show you the 2 armies that are going to be fighting it out.
So for the Dark Angels, I'll be running a battalion detachment and a spearhead detachment. Leading off the battalion detachment, we have Ezekiel and a Primaris Lieutenant with a power sword and a plasma pistol. We have a 5-man scout squad with camo cloaks and sniper rifles. We have 2 5-man intercessor squads. We have a 6-man Deathwing Terminator squad with a Thunderhammer Storm Shield and an assault cannon. We have a 4-man Black Knight squad. We have a 3-man Inceptor squad with assault bolters. We have 2 Razorbacks with twin assault cannons and storm bolters. And then for the spearhead detachment, we have a Librarian in Terminator armor with a force stave. And we have 3 Predators, all with twin las cannon sponsons, and 2 have storm bolters. And for the Tyranids, he'll be running 2 battalion detachments and a spearhead detachment, leading off the 1st battalion detachment, which is from Hive Fleet Kraken. He has 2 flying hive tyrants, both with 2 devourers, both with adrenal glands, toxin sacs, and monstrous rending claws. We have 16 Genestealers, 4 with acid maws. We have 2 3-man Ripper squads. Then for the 2nd battalion, which will be from Hive Fleet Jormungandr, we have a flying hive tyrant with a miasma cannon and 2 devourers and a neurothrope. We have 3 squads of termagants, 2 10-man with flesh borers, and 1 18-man with devourers. We have a 5-man Ravener squad with scything talons and death spitters. And we have 2 Carnifexes with 4 Devourers each, enhanced senses, spore cysts, and bone maces. And then we have a Spearhead from Hive Fleet Kronos. Leading it off, we have a Neurothrope. We have a 4-man squad of Hive Guard with Impaler cannons. And last but not least, we have 3 2-man Biovore squads with Spore Mine launchers.
All right, so those are the armies. Going over deployment now, I've got one of my Predators here, another Predator here, another Predator here. I've got my Primaris Lieutenant back here. He is going to be my Warlord. He is going to have the Grand Master Strategist, one that gives him a free reroll, and he gets to what's the Mashal? Oh, he gets to get his command points back every time I spend a stratagem. I can try to get it back on a 5-up. Then we have an empty Razorback over here. We've got my Intercessor squad here. Another Intercessor squad inside the building here. I've got a Razorback over here. Ezekiel is riding inside. I've got my Black Knights over here. And I've got my Scout Snipers back over there. So that's it for the deployment for the Dark Angels. My Terminators, my Inceptors, and my Librarian and Terminator armor are going to be in Deep Strike Reserve. Going over deployment now for the Tyranids. We've got his a 10-man squad of Gaunts over here. We've got the 3 squads of Biovores. Biovores, got it right. Over here. We've got the 2 Neurothropes here. We've got one of his Carnifexes here. The other one over here in front of him as well is is another 10-man squad of the Gaunts. And we've got the Hive Guard hiding back here in the ruins. So we're going to be playing the ITC rules with the ruins so that the first floor is line of sight blocking. So even if there's windows there, you can't see through it. You have to be not looking through a building, essentially, is what it comes down to. And everything else is going to be in reserves of some kind. He spent 1 CP to put the other Gaunts, the 18-man Gaunt squad in the tunnels, right, riding behind the Raveners there, and the Raveners are in their tunnel, and everything else is in all sorts of things. The enemy below, that's what it is. So it's a 1 CP. It allows them to put the unit of Gaunts back there. So that, I think, is it. So that's it for deployment. I'm going to go tell you there are secondary missions, because with the ITC Champions missions, you choose your secondary missions. So for me, I chose Headhunter. I'm going to be choosing, I have Kingslayer. So Headhunter, I get a point for every character I kill. Kingslayer, I get a point for every 4 wounds that I put onto his, because I chose his Warlord, which is the one with, which one is it again? The one that's on the ground. So the one that's standing on the ground, that guy over there, he's in reserve right now, but he is going to be the one that I'm going to be choosing. Because he has a monster keyword, every 4 wounds I put on him, I get a point. And then if I slay him and he's the Warlord, I get an additional point for that, for Kingslayer. Headhunter is just kill a character, so all of his Flying Hive Tyrants and the Neurothropes, I can get them that way. And then I chose Recon, which is have a unit in each of the table quarters at the end of each turn. You get a point for that. So that's it for my, that's what I've got. The secondaries for my opponent. He chose Big Game Hunter, which is basically killing my tanks. He also chose Recon as well. So he's going to be trying to get into the table quarters. And then he chose Behind Enemy Lines, which is have 2 units within 12 inches of my long table edge over here to get him points. He gets it at the end of each turn that he has 2 units there. He gets points for that. So that's it for deployment. That's it for the secondaries. As of right now, the Dark Angels will be going first, unless my opponent can seize the initiative. Looking for a 6? No, does not get it. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. These guys advanced up over this way. Looking over here, I spent a command point for Speed of the Raven. So they're essentially what it allows them to do is advance, and they get to shoot and charge just without having to worry about that. So I can spend that. Let's see if I get it back on a 5-up because of my Warlord trait. Nope, I do not get that one back. So then I moved these guys here. Ezekiel stayed inside. He just kind of shifted over here a bit. My Predators all stood still back here. So did my Primaris Lieutenant. Intercessors here and Intercessors here stood still. Razorback here moved up a bit. They stood still. My Sniper Scouts. In came my Deathwing Terminators and my Librarian. And there was a small little bubble in the back corner here that I could fit my 3 Inceptors back over here, which was I mean, pretty good. I'm happy with that. So we'll see what happens with them. So they got to drop back over there. At the end of the movement phase, these guys dropped in. I'm going to spend the 3 command points because I've got a 6-man squad here. They're going to be doing Deathwing Assault, but let's see if I get back one of those command points. I do not. So we're going to go with the shooting here. So I have, at the end of the movement phase, they get to shoot. They're going to shoot into his Gaunts over here. So we've got 4 Stormbolters here in rapid fire range. Are they within range of the or is it only the models within 3 inches get the,
The -1 is just the Carnifexes.
Oh, the -1 is just to the Carnifexes. Sorry, I knew he was talking about -1. I didn't know what it would give it. So they're going to be being hit on with the Stormbolters here, hitting on 3s. All right, fair number of 1s because that's how I roll. All right, that's all 3s. All right, and now toughness 3. Yep. So looking for 3s to wound. Okay, not great. So we've got 5 wounds here.
6 up saves.
6 up saves. Oh, and he gets 2 of them with the facing the Grey Tide dice that he's got going on here, which is pretty sweet. And then the assault cannon is going to fire with 6 shots here, hitting on 4s because he moved. All right. Oh, come on. Oh, crazy. Wounding on 2s. That's a wound. AP -1, so just another one dead. All right, so now onto the psychic phase. My librarian there is going to cast Smite onto his Termagants over there. So looking for a 5. Getting it with an 8. So D3 wounds. Mortal wounds. 2 mortal wounds. And now I am going to cast Mind Wipe onto his Carnifex there, but he is going to cast the Deepest Shadow, which means that I only get to roll 1 dice to try to get my Warp Charge 7 attack off. Do I get it? No, he's not a 7 because it's 1 die. He can only ever get 6. That was pretty awesome. All right, and starting off the shooting phase now, my Terminators here are going to fire into his Gaunts over here. The Assault Cannon is going to fire into the Carnifex. So we're going to go with the Stormbolters first. All but 1 guy is in rapid fire range, so hitting on 3s. All right. That was a little better. And then wounding on 3s. That was not better. All right, so we've got 5. I think that's exactly what he had last time. But he fails 4 of them, which wipes out that unit. And now the Assault Cannon is going to fire into his Carnifex over here. So we've got 6 shots. These are going to be hitting on 5s because he's -1 to hit because of Spore Cyst, and he moved. So hitting on 5s. Getting 2 hits. So Strength 6, Toughness 6.
7.
Toughness 7. Oh, snap. All right, so looking for 5s to wound. Getting 1 wound, AP -1, but because of Jormungandr, he gets a +1. Oh, but he still takes the wound. All right, so now I am going to spend a command point on Kill Shot because they're all within 6, well, they're within 6 inches of the middle guy here, which means that for 1 command point, I can reroll. I can get +1 to my damage and +1 to my wound rolls for them when targeting monsters or vehicles. So now I'm going to roll to see if I get that back on a 5 up. No, don't get that back. So now the first one over here is going to fire into his Carnifex over here. He's -1 to hit because of the Spore Cyst. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. Oh, okay, I'll take that. So don't get to reroll that 1, even though he didn't move because he's a vehicle, because he's a tank. So he doesn't get the benefit for Grim Resolve. So now these 3 shots are now going to be usually wounding on 3s, but now wounding on 2s because of Kill Shot. All right, so that is 3 wounds, AP -3, +1 because of Jormungandr. So it's going to be -2 going to 5 ups. Makes 1 of them. See that Jormungandr in and of itself paid off right there. So that's 2 that go through. So these are going to be D6 wounds each. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he's 11 wounds. He did. Now the second guy is going to fire into his other Carnifex over there. So 4 shots. Hitting on 4s again because he's got the Spore Cyst on him as well. Okay, that would have been an extra hit there, which would have been nice. So 1 hit. Wounding on a 2 because of Kill Shot. That's a wound.
5 up.
5 up. No, goes through. So D6 +1. 3 wounds. Yeah, and now the third one here is going to do the same thing into his Carnifex over there. So 4 shots, hitting on 4s again because of Spore Cyst. All right. That's 2 hits. Spore Cyst would have been a hit there. So it's 2 hits, wounding on 2s because of Kill Shot. That's 2 wounds. Looking for 5s. Making 1, 2, making them both. Well done, sir. And now my intercessors here are going to fire into his Carnifex there. So hitting on 4s again because of Sporcis. All right. So that's 3 hits. Toughness 7, right? So wounding on 5s. Getting... Whoa! Okay, I'll take that. So that's 3 wounds. AP -1 +1 because of Jormungandr. 3 ups. Making them all. And these intercessors are going to fire into the Termagants. They don't have the -1 hit because they don't have the Sporcis. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Yahtzee! And I can't even re-roll those because I could re-roll 1s. Literally, that's the... that's literally the only roll I could have... Who even does that? Oh, beautiful. All right, so now my Razorback here is going to fire into the Termagants. We're going to go with the Stormbolter first, hitting on 3s. All right, that's all hits. Wounding on 3s. That is 3 wounds, 3 6-ups, making 1 of them 2 dead. And now the Twin Assault Cannon is going to fire into them, hitting on 4s because he moved. All righty. It's actually not bad. I'll take that. I guess a little below average, but I'll still take it. Wounding on 2s. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds. AP -1, so they are just 5. Or you could take 3, right? Or is that 4? Oh, and there's 1 guy out there. Oh. All right, so now my Black Knights here are going to fire into his Biovores over there. They're all in range, and I'm going to spend a command point on weapons from the Dark Age, which gives them +1 to the damage for their plasma shots. Let's see if I get it back. It was a 1 command point, and I don't get it back. So my Warlord trait's going to treat me real well. So we've got 8 shots from these guys into his Biovores there. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Alrighty, glad I didn't supercharge. That was my other thought process. These are now going to be strength 7, so wounding on, are they toughness 4? 3? 4. So looking for 3s to wound. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds at AP -3. So 4 6-ups. Makes 1 of them. So 1 of them's dead and 1 of them is down to 2 wounds. And now my Inceptors are going to fire into his Biovores over here. So these are going to be 3 shots each per Assault Bolter there. So they are going to be hitting on 3s. All right. Hitting on 3s. All right. Strength 5, so wounding on 3s. That was 1. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds. AP -1, +1 because they're in cover. So looking for 4 ups, right? 4 ups. So 1 takes 1 wound. My Librarian is going to fire into the Carnifex. That's 2 hits. 1 wound. And he's good because he gets the +1 because he's always in cover because of Jormungandr unless he advances or charges. And now my Scout Snipers are going to fire into his Carnifex here. 5 shots hitting on 3s because they didn't move. Okay, pretty good so far. Wounding on 5s. 6s do a mortal wound in addition. All right, ooh, so we got 3 mortal wounds and 3 2-up saves. Oh man, if you see 1-1, he's dead. No, he makes them all. Well done. All right, so that is it for the shooting phase. On to the assault phase. My Black Knights, because of the speed of the Raven, are going to assault into his Termagants over here. So looking for 6s, getting 1. Strength 4, so looking for a 5. No wound there. So they're charged distance. Whoa. Oh, 4 inches. Hold on, we'll see if this is it. It was just in range. He was like 4.5 inches out from the closest guy there. Whew. All right, now my Inceptors here are going to charge into his Biovores over here. So we've got looking for a 9-inch charge because they can't fire Overwatch. Oh, and getting it. That is, that's pretty brutal. All right, and now my Terminators are going to charge into his Carnifex over here. So his Carnifex is going to fire Overwatch. All right, getting a bunch of hits there. Pretty good. Strength 6. Oh, brutal. Looking for 3s. That one's cocked over there. All right, so that is 2, 4, 6. 6 wounds there. AP nothing. So 6 2-up saves. Make them all. Woo! All right, now they're looking for an 11-inch charge into his Carnifex over here. So, come on, dice. Work with me here. 11-inch charge. Oh, 9. That's not enough. I wish I had that 11 inches because his Genestealers are going to be popping out of there. That's going to be brutal. I could roll that again and look for a 6. No, I can't. I need to play it smart. So, that is it for the charges. We'll come back to you with the fight phase. All right, starting off the fight phase with my Inceptors into his Biovores. So they've got 2 attacks each, plus the Sergeant has 3 attacks, so these are going to be hitting on 3s. Oh boy, that's not great. His Biovores, we played each other at Warzone Atlanta, and his Biovores tied up my Reavers for seemingly they're still tied up right now as we speak. Tied them up forever, and unfortunately it looks like my Inceptors are going the same way. Wounding on 4s. Oh, get 1 wound. Oh, but he takes a wound. And now my Black Knights are going to attack into his whatchamacallits. Termagants. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. It's like the most basic of Tyranids, and I can't remember that. I can remember Biovore, but I can't remember Termagants. So here we go. They've got 2 attacks each, 3 on the Nightmaster, or the Huntmaster. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Alrighty, a little bit better than their Inceptor bros. Strength +1, so wounding on 3s. Okay, so that is 4 at AP -1. Those 3 guys are dead. All right, so now his Biovores are going to attack back into my Inceptors over here. So we've got 4 attacks between the 2 of them, hitting on 4s, wounding on 5. Getting the wound. 3-up save. He's good. All right, and that is the end of the Dark Angel turn here. Pretty good turn. I'm very happy with that. Here's the thing. If these guys had made that charge over here, they would have canceled out this node, and his Genestealers would have been dead, because these guys, when they consolidated into combat, took out his node here. These guys, when they got into combat, took out his node over here. And then I think these guys had also originally taken out the one that was closer over here before. So I took out 3 of his 4 nodes. So his Genestealers, if they had killed that, would have been stuck in the underground. They would have been just stuck underground. So that would have been pretty brutal. But as it is, he can still come out of there, which should be pretty brutal. Let's be honest, pretty brutal. All right, so that is it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 1. I scored a point for killing a unit, and I scored a point for holding an objective. And I did not kill any characters, so I did not get Headhunter at all. His Warlord's still in reserve, so I can't get Kingslayer. But I do have Recon, because I do have a unit in each of the 4 quadrants there, so I do get a point for Recon. So that is it for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. We will come back to you after movement phase for the Tyranids on turn 1. All right, movement phase here for the Tyranids on turn 1. His Neuranthropes have fallen back over here. These Biovores fell back out of combat over here from my Inceptors. These Biovores stood still. He stood still. In came his Warlord Hive Tyrant over here. In came his Hive Tyrant with the Miasma Cannon over here. He got Rippers in here just within there, 9 inches away from my tank, and just within the corner there, because he's trying to get himself some recon. In came the Raveners in the middle there. This was like an act of I think we deserve like a doctorate in trigonometry over here, trying to figure out how to fit all those guys in that small little space between all of my different units around here. His Carnifex moved up towards my Terminators over there. His Genestealers came out of the last remaining the last remaining node over there. So they are 4 inches or just within 4 inches away of my sergeant over there. So that's going to be pretty brutal. And down came his other Hive Tyrant over here. So in reserve, he still has just the 1 squad of Rippers, and that's it. Everyone else is now on the board. So suddenly bugs. Suddenly bugs everywhere. So that's it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so starting off the psychic phase, he is going to cast Psychic Shriek into my Razorback over here. So needing a 5, getting it with a 10. So it's D3 mortal wounds. 3 mortal wounds. All right, now his Warlord's going to cast Catalyst onto himself here. So feel no pain. 4 is not going to go off.
Nope.
And now he is going to smite into my Inceptors over there. Looking for a 5. Ooh, does not go off. And now his Tyrant here is going to cast the Horror onto my Bikers. 6, is that enough? That does go off. And now he's going to smite them. So the same guy is going to smite into them.
-1.
-1 because, ooh, no.
It's an 11.
Wait, 1 second. Okay, so we're playing with the beta rules because this is all like prepping now for LVO, the road to LVO here for the Glacial Geek. So we're gonna go with the beta rules for Smite, which is each successive cast is at a -1. So that was that 12 became an 11, but he did perils because the perils is just a roll of double 6s. So he does peril, so D3 mortal wounds. Into 3 mortal wounds onto him, which is pretty brutal. But it does go off as a super smite because it's still -1 becomes an 11, so it's still a super smite. So D6 mortal wounds. 1. Oh no, that was unfortunate. All right, he's gonna spend a command point to reroll that one. Oh, into a 3, much better that one. Now this guy here is going to cast Smite into my Inceptors over here. So this is at a -2 now because of the beta rule.
And I get to reroll 1.
He does get to reroll 1s. So he does get to reroll that 1 into a 6. -2 is a 4, so that does not go off because of the beta rules. And now the next one's going to do the same thing into them. It's at a -3 now. So rolling. Getting to reroll 1s. Into a 9, -3 is 6, so it does go off. D3 wounds, 3 wounds. And now he's going to try to smite into him. He's at a -4 now for this roll. 6 -4 is 2. It does not go off. All right, starting off the shooting phase. This Hive Tyrant here, he has the Miasma Cannon. So he's going to fire the Miasma Cannon into my Predator over here, and then the Devourers into my Bikers. We're going to go with the Miasma Cannon first. So D3 shots. 3 shots, which is pretty good. Hitting on 3s. It's not heavy, right?
No.
Yeah, so that is 1 hit, strength 8, right?
9.
Oh, strength 9, so wounding on a 3. That is a wound. AP
-2.
-2, so looking for a 5 up. No, goes through. 3 damage, right? Straight 3 damage onto him. And now the Devourer is into my Bikers over here, hitting on 3s. Ooh, pretty good. Pretty good.
10 hits.
All right, 10 hits there. These are now strength 6, so looking for 3s to wound. Cocked. Alrighty, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wounds. 9 AP. AP nothing, so 9 3-ups. Because usually I play it where Bikers and like where everything, unless you're a monster or a vehicle, gets cover for being on it. But because we're testing for the LVO here, we're going to go with the LVO rules, and they don't get cover because of that, because they're Bikers. So looking for 3-ups. And I failed 1 of them. All right, I'll take that. And now the Warlord is going to fire his 12 shots with his Devourers into my Bikers. Hitting on 3s. Alrighty.
9 hits.
9 hits, wounding on 3s.
8
All right, 8 wounds. So this is going to be 3, 4, 8. 8 3-ups. Show me them 3-ups. And I failed 2 of them. This flyer is going to fire into my scouts over here. So hitting on 3s. Not as good. Wounding on 3s. Strength 6, right? Yep. So 3, so that's 4 wounds. 4 2-up saves because of camo cloaks. And I'll make them all. Woo! All All right, so now his Hive Guard are going to fire into my Predator over here. They don't need line of sight with their gun there, which is pretty brutal. So they've got 2 shots each, hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1 because of Hive Fleet Chronos for them, right? So that's 1 miss. Strength 8, right? So toughness 7, so looking for 3s to wound. All right, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds. AP minus 2, 5 we said, right?
Yep.
So 5, AP minus 2, so looking for 5 ups. And making 2 of them, so failing 3. So 3D3, D3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now the Devourers here are going to fire, the Termagants with Devourers are going to fire into my Intercessors inside the building here. So it's going to be 54 shots. We're going to go with 36 here because it's all with them. We'll come back to you with that. All right, Strength 4, so looking for 4s to wound. All right, we'll come back to you with that. All right, so we had 10 wounds there. 10 2-up saves because AP nothing, right? Yep, AP nothing, so 10 2-up saves because they're in cover over there. Failed 2 of them, so 1 guy dead. And the other 18 shots coming in here, hitting on 4s. All right, we'll come back to that. All right, and 8 hits, so 8 looking for 4s to wound. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds there. So we've got 5 2-up saves and failed 1 of them. And now his Raveners are going to attack, are going to shoot into my Razorback over here. So hitting on 4s. All right, we'll come back to you with that. And wounding on 5s. That one's good. So that is 4, 5, 4. 4 wounds.
-1.
AP -1, so 4 4-ups. And failed 2 of them. And now his Carnifex there is going to fire into my Intercessors over here. So these are going to be hitting on 3s, right?
Yep.
Because he gave him, what's it called?
Enhance.
Enhanced Senses. So hitting on 3s with Enhanced Senses.
Wounding on 3.
And now these are going to be wounding on 3s. All right, so we've got, what is that?
5, 10, 13.
13 wounds. All right, so we've got 13 AP nothing, so 13 2-ups. And, ooh, failed a bunch. One of those over here is cocked. All right, so that is 3 wounds through, so 2 more dead because there's 1 guy with a 1 wound. And now his Biovores there are going to fire into my Razorback. So we've got, what is it?
Hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s.
Hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. All right, so that's one hit.
And 1 Spore Mine.
And 1 Spore Mine. So the 1 hit, strength.
It does mortal wound.
It does a mortal wound on a 2-up.
2 through 5, it does 1 mortal wound.
Oh, 2 through 5, it does 1 mortal wound. Brutal. And now the last guy over here is going to fire into my Predator. So hitting on a 4. Ooh, rerolling 1s though. No, that is a miss. So the 1 miss over here gave him a Spore Mine over there, and then the 1 miss over here gave him a Spore Mine over there. All right, so that would have been it for the shooting, except he's going to spend 2 command points on single-minded annihilation, and he's going to have his Hive Guard fire. 2 of them are going to fire into my Razorback here, and 2 are going to fire into my Predator back here. So which ones do you want to fire first?
Let's do the Predator first.
All right, we're going to go the ones into the Predator first. 4 shots, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. So that's 4 hits, pretty brutal. Strength 8, so wounded on 3s. Getting 2 wounds. AP minus 2, so looking for 5 ups. Oh, failed them both. No. Nope, I'm not going to. I can't do it. 2d3 damage. Getting 3 damage, which is just enough to kill him. Does he explode? No, he does not. And now the 2 more into my Razorback over here. Hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. Woo!
Hitting on 3s.
Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. That's right. So 3 hits. Looking for 3s to wound. Getting 1 wound. AP minus 2. No, that goes through. D3 damage. 2 damage. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase. On to the assault phase. We're going to start with his Carnifex charging into my Terminators over here. So we're going to start with the 4 guys with Stormbolters first. These are going to be hitting on 6s. Getting 3 hits. Wounding on toughness 7, you said, right? So wounding on 5s. Getting 1 wound. 1, 2 up. Oh, no, and he goes down. All right, he's going to spend a command point to reroll that. Oh, and he's good. So now, now I've got my assault cannon hitting on 6s. Oh, not getting anything. Brutal. That was a good point. Spend the command point. His charge distance is, wow, really in. And now the Genestealers here are going to charge into my Terminators and my Librarian. So he's going to Overwatch here. 4 shots, hitting on 6s. Not getting 1, wounding on a 4. That's not a wound. And now their charge distance. Ooh, is in. I saw that 1. All right, so now his flyer in here is going to charge into my Inceptors. They're going to fire Overwatch. I've got 12 shots coming from them, hitting on 6s. Got 1, 2 hits. All right, strength 5, toughness 6, right? So wounding on toughness 7, so still wounding on 5s. Getting 2 wounds with fill faces. AP -1.
4 up.
4 up. Oh, takes a wound. And then his charge distance looking for 9 inches, and he gets it in. Brutal. And now his Neranthrope is going to charge into my Black Knight over there. So I'm going to have 2 shots hitting on 6s, not supercharging. Getting 1 hit. Strength 7, toughness 4, so looking for a 3. That's a wound. AP minus 3 up invul save. No, goes through. And a 7-inch charge. And he makes it in. And now his flying over here is going to charge into my Razorback. 12 shots from the Twin Assault Cannon, hitting on 6s. Getting 2 hits. Strength 6, wounding on 5s. Getting 1 wound, AP -1. Ooh, that goes through. And then the Stormbolter. Not getting any hits there. So he needs a 9-inch charge.
+1.
+1 because of his Hive Fleet?
Adrenal gland.
Well, because of Adrenal Glands. I'm sorry. +1 because of Adrenal Glands.
8.
He's looking for an 8. Oh, and he does get it in. Killer. All right. And now the Termagants are going to charge into my Razorback over here. I'm going to fire Overwatch. 12 shots from the Twin Assault Cannon first. Hitting on 6s. Okay. Getting, 4 hits. Pretty good. Wounding on 2s. Oh, come on. That is 2 dead from there. And now the Stormbolter is going to fire on 6s. Oh! That's to make up for those 2s that I hit on the other one. So we got 4 4 hits. Wounded on 3s. Okay, 2 wounds. 2 6-ups. No, 2 more dead. All right, a 9-inch charge. Oh, but they make it in. That's pretty brutal. All right, so we're actually going to show here because the Carnifex, when he charged in, he has what is it? Living battering ram. So on a what? On a 4-up, it does a mortal wound to those Terminators. Yeah, mortal wound onto the Terminators. And now the Carnifex is going to attack into the Terminators over there. So he's got 4 attacks, hitting on 3s.
4. Yeah, 3.
Yep, hitting on 3s. All hits, pretty brutal. Strength 6, so looking for 4s to wound. 3s. What am I doing? 3s to wounds. That is 3 wounds. No AP. So we've got. So it's going to be 3 2-up saves. And I make them all with fill faces. Woo! And now his Bone Mace Tail hitting on a 3. No hit there. Now his Genestealers are going to activate. All but one of them can get within an inch of an inch. And so they're going to be coming in here. 4 attacks each because there's 16 of them in there. So he's going to have 15 guys. The first 3 here that we're going to do are going to be the ones with the Acid Maws. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Alrighty. Strength 4, so wounding on 4s. So we've got... What's that one back there? So we got that was a hit. That was a 4. So we got 4, 5, 6 wounds at AP -3. So we're gonna go one at a time on the for the guy who's wounded there. So this is gonna be a 5-up invul save or armor save regardless. Nope. So he's dead. Then we're gonna go on to the guy with the storm shield. So we're gonna have one at a time 3 up. That's good. That is not good. Because now he's dead. 2 1s. And then 2 5-up saves. Failed 1, 2. Womp, womp. And now the rest of the guys are going to go in there. So we've got 44 attacks with the rest of the guys here. So the others are going to have, so there's going to be, we're going to do 2 sets of 22. So hitting on 3s. We'll come back to you with that. These are wounding on 4s. 6s are rending. Ooh, bunch of 6s there. So we're going to have, what is that? 4 rending. So those are AP minus 4. AP minus 4, and then 6 that are not rending, just AP minus 1. So we're going to have 4 5-ups. Let's just roll those ones. 4 5-ups. Making 1 of them. So 1.5 guys are dead from that. And then we've got, how many? 6 of the AP minus 1. So 6 3-ups. Failing 1 of them. So 1 more guy is dead. And now the other 22 attacks. All right, we'll come back to that. All right, now that's however many attacks, I don't know, we didn't count. But now these are going to be wounding on 4s. Ooh. 6s are rending. So we've got 4 regular wounds and 1 with rending. So we've got 1 5-up. Nope, that's 1 wound there. And then was it 4?
3-ups.
4 3-ups. If he fails 1 of these, the squad is wiped. Come on. Making all of them. Yeah! Woo! And now his Tyrant over here is going to attack into my Razorback with 4 attacks. Hitting on 3s.
2s.
Oh, hitting on 2s. All right, those are all hits. Strength 6, so wounding on 5s. Re-rolling. So that's 3 wounds. AP.
The 5s are minus 3.
Oh, the 5s are AP minus 3. So those are going to be 6-ups. Looking for fill faces. Getting 1. And then the other one just goes. The 6 just is AP what?
Minus 8.
AP minus 8. That's gross. So that's 2, 6. They're 3 wounds each.
That is 4 wounds.
Oh, that is 4 wounds.
And this one's D3.
D3. 4 plus 2 is 6. So I was right. So 6 wounds. Brutal. And now he's got a tail. That's a hit. That is not a wound. And now this flying over here is going to attack into my Inceptors. So that is all hits.
Hang on 3s.
Wound on 3s. That is 2 wounds. Re-rolling because of his thing. So that's 3 wounds. 1 is going to go straight through. And doing 4 wounds is going to kill a guy. And then we've got 2 6-ups. Making 1 of them. So D3 wounds.
And 1's wounded.
Well, yeah, so that was the 6 goes through, kills him, and then the 1 onto the D3 wounds. I made 1 6.
Yeah. Do you get to choose, or do I?
Yeah, because I choose the saves that they go on, the order. So I rolled that first, I went the first one, he was dead.
Okay.
And then D3 wounds. Oh, 3, he's dead anyway. And now his Neuranthrope is going to attack in, hitting on a 4. That's a hit.
Wounding on a 5.
Wounding on a 5, that's a wound. AP nothing. 3 up. Yeah, he's good. All right, so now his gaunts here are going to attack in. 5 are close enough to attack. Hitting on 4s. Wounding on 6s. So still getting 2 wounds. Not bad. 3-up saves. Hey, did a wound. All right, so now it's on to my guys. We're going to start over here. He's got D3 attacks now. So 3 attacks. Hitting on 6s. Show me them fill faces. Nope, not getting any. Then over here, my Black Knight. That's my Hunt Master. He's got 3 attacks. Hitting on 3s. That is 3 hits. Strength plus 1. So looking for 3s to wound. 1 wound at AP minus 1.
3 up.
Oh, and he's good. My Sergeant back there is going to attack with his 3 attacks. Hitting on 3s. That is 3 hits. Wounding on 4s. We got 3 wounds. AP minus 3. So 5-up invuls. Making 1 of them 2 dead. And now my Librarian's going to attack into his Carnifex. So I've got 3 attacks. Hitting on 3s. So that is 2 hits. Wounding on 5s. Oh, adds up to 5. Not enough. He gets 1 attack into his Hive Tyrant there. Nope, not hitting on a 1. All right, and that is it for the fight phase. So leadership, he lost 3 guys over here, 3+. 2 is good. And then these guys lost 3. 3 plus 1 is good. So that is going to be it for the turn here. He is controlling at least one objective, and he definitely killed a unit. And that's going to be it. Hold on. We're going to come back to you with the end of turn scoring. All right, so my opponent at the end of his turn also got behind enemy lines because he has 2 units behind within 12 inches of my longest table edge, and then he also got 1 for big game hunter by killing that predator over there, and 1 for recon, which is having a unit in each sector. So he's got 1 here, 1 there, he's got a bunch there, and then he's got a couple over here. So pretty good there. At the end of the battle round, I killed more units. He holds more objective because he holds with the same unit stretching back across there. He holds both of those because in 8th edition you don't have to declare that anymore. It's just unit models within there, and they're obsec because of them being troop choices. And I've got the 1 over there, and then he's contesting me over here. So that is it for the turn 1 here. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels on turn 2. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 2. My Ezekiel disembarked and got up on top of the building there. He backed out over this way, got out of combat over here. These guys all stood still. My intercessor stood still. My Razorback fell back out of combat. My Scout stayed still. My Librarian stayed in combat, as did my Sergeant, because he had to, because he can't get out over there. And my Huntmaster over here stayed in combat. And that is it for the movement phase. So we will come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so starting off here, we're going to start with Ezekiel casting Trephination onto his gaunts over here. Because he's within 18 inches of his Flyrant over here, I am going to be at -1 to cast. So looking for an 8 for this to go off. That one's cocked. Oh no. Of course it does that. I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll that. 7. Oh! Do I get back that command point? Nope. Now, my Librarian's going to cast Smite into the Carnifex over there. Getting it with a 9.
Attempt to deny.
With the Flyrant within, he's going to attempt to deny it. Nope, does not deny it. So,
Artifacts is dead.
Yeah, he did. And now Ezekiel's going to cast Smite, looking for a 7 because he's -1 and -1 because I've done Smite before. So looking for a 7. Wouldn't even made it if it was basic. And then my Librarian here is going to cast Righteous Repugnance onto my Sergeant over there. Does not go off. Brutal. All right, Ezekiel is going to fire into his Spore Mine over here. That's a hit. Wounding on a 2. That's a wound. He did. Now my Nightmaster is going to fire his bolt pistol into his Neuranthrope over there. He's at -1 to hit because of the psychic power that was on him, the horror. We forgot to do it last time, but he didn't do anything, so it's all good. So hitting on a 4. Nope, nothing. All right, my Intercessors here are going to fire into the Termagants. That is 2 hits. That is 1 dead because it's AP -1. Yep, and I forgot I got one to hit there, but they get to reroll it because of Grim Resolve. That is a hit again. Or now, but no wound there. The dice know what they want. And now these Intercessors here are going to fire into the Termagants. 5 shots because they're out of double tap range. All right, so that is 3 hits. That is 1 wound because an AP -1. So, well. All right, so now this Predator here is going to fire. He's going to fire the Stormbolter into his mine there. Las Cannons into his Hive Tyrant over here. So we're going to go into the mine over here first. That is 2 hits. 2 wounds. He did. And now we're going to fire the Las Cannons into his Hive Tyrant over there. So we got 4 shots hitting on 3s, right? He doesn't have a -1 to him, right? Just the Warlord does. So hitting on 3s. All right. So that's 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. All right. Rerolling 1s, but not 2s. So that's 2 wounds. AP -3.
4 ups.
4 ups. Making 1. D6 wounds. 3 wounds. All right, so now my Predator here is going to fire into his Hive Tyrant over there. 4 shots, hitting on 3s. All right, not getting to reroll 1s because he's a tank. 3 hits, though. Wounding on 3s. Getting to reroll 1 because of the Lieutenant there, so that is 2 wounds. AP minus 3. Getting both saves. And now my Scouts are going to fire into the Gaunts over here. So we've got 5 shots, hitting on 3s. All right, 4 hits. Wounding on 3s. 6s do a mortal wounding addition. Okay, so we just got 3 6-up saves. Making none of them. All right, so moving on to the fight phase because shooting's over and no one's charging. So we're going to go with my Sergeant over there. He's got 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is all hits. Wounding on 4s. That is 2 wounds. 2 5-up invul saves, makes 1 of them. All right, so now his Genestealers are going to activate. So we've got 3 with the Acid Maw that are going to go into my my Librarian over here, and then what was it? Another 4.
Yeah, another 4.
Another 4 regular ones into there. So we're gonna go with the Acid Maws first. Hitting on 3s. Wow, pretty good. Wounding on
4s.
Wounding on 4s. 6s are AP minus 3.
They're all minus 3.
Oh, these are the Acid Maws. Sorry, they're all AP minus 3. So we got 4 at AP minus 3. So these are going to be 4 5-up saves. Make 1 of them. And now the 4 regular guys into the Terminator there. Into my Librarian. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. And now wounding on 4s. 6s are rending. So we got 2 rending. And then 5 regular. So we've got 2 at 5-up invul saves. And I make them both. Woo! And now I have 5 3-up saves to make. Don't embarrass me after that woo over the 5 pluses, dice. Oh, but you're going to anyway. Ooh! You know what? Yes, he is dead. Which means he is going to play the stratagem Feeder Tendrils, which means that when they kill a character, when a Genestealer, Lictor, Toxicrene, blah, 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 kill a character, you can spend 1 command point to gain back D3 command points. So 1 command point. So it was net nothing. That's fine. He'll take that. And then we got 1 Acid Maw and 4 regular guys into the Sergeant. Acid Maw, that is 3 hits. That is 2 wounds. 2 5-up invul saves. Nope, failed them, and he is a dead. All right, and now my Black Knight over here is going to attack. He's still under the horror, so he's going to be hitting on 4s. Hey, 3 hits. I'll take that. Strength +1, so wounding on 3s. So we've got 2 wounds, but the 6 has to be done separately because that becomes D3 damage. So we're going to do the 6 one first. No, that goes through. And then 3-up invul for the regular one. No, that goes through. So here we go. D3 wounds. Oh, 2 wounds, so he's still alive. And now his Neuranthrope gets to attack back. That is a hit. That is not a wound. And that is the end of the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 2. So I did kill a unit, and I do control an objective, so I get both of the points for that. I didn't kill a character. I do have recon though, because I've got him over here, him over there, and then I've got units over there. So I do get another point for recon. Do not get Kingslayer and do not get Headhunter. So that is it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 2. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Tyranids on turn 2. All right, movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 2. His Flying Hive Tyrant flew over to here. His Gaunts have moved up around over this way. His Rippers are moving up over this way. His other Flying Hive Tyrant moved up over this way. The Genestealers are all making their move up over this way. His Raveners moved up over this way. His Hive Guard moved up over this way. His Ripper Swarm dropped in over there, the last one that was still in reserves. And then everyone else kind of over here, they didn't move, right? Except for the Neuronthrope?
Yep.
Yep, the Neuronthrope moved up and everyone else stood still. And and the Hive Tyrant, his Warlord flew up over this way. So that is it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so starting off here now, his this Flying Hive Tyrant is going to cast Onslaught onto his Rippers over here. 5 does not go off. And then his Warlord's going to cast Catalyst onto himself. Cocked.
Goes off.
Goes off with an 8. Now his Neuronthrope is going to smite into my Black Knight over here. Gets it with a 7. Are you within 24 of Ezekiel? All right, so I'm going to try to deny that with Ezekiel. So looking for an 8. No. Really? D3. 1. All right, this Flying Hive Tyrant is going to smite into the tank over there. -1 because of the beta rules. No, not going off. And now he's going to Psychic Scream. That does go off with a 6, so D3 mortal wounds. 2 mortal wounds. This Flying Hive Tyrant is going to smite into my tank there at -2. No, it does not go off. Now he's going to smite into the Biker at -3. No, it does not go off. And now he's going to smite at -4. Ooh, perils.
I'm going to re-roll that.
He's going to spend a command point to re-roll that. So it's not perils, but it doesn't go off. So yeah, that's saved him there. All right, so now this Flying Hive Tyrant here is going to fire his miasma cannons into my Razorback, which is auto hits at this range because that's the upgraded. What is the upgraded?
Heavy venom cannon.
It's the upgraded heavy venom cannon is the miasma cannon. So it's actually like within 8 inches, it's auto hits. So those are going to hit there, and then he's going to put the Devourers into my Biker over here. So he's at what is he hitting at? 3s now because of being wounded at half.
4s.
He's hitting on 4s now because he's at
3. Sorry.
Hitting on 3s because he's at half.
Yeah, at half he's 3s and 3s.
At half he's 3s and 3s. So here we go. Hitting on 3s. Alrighty. Strength 6, right? So wounding on 3s. All right. So that is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds. 6. 3 up armor saves. Nope, he did. And then Miasma Cannon has D3 shots that auto hit. D3. Getting 3 hits. Strength 9. So those are wounded on 3s. Ooh, 1 wound. AP
-2.
-2. So looking for a 5 up. Hey, he's good with a fell face. Woo!
Pretty much the only thing.
All right, so now his Flying Hive Tyrant over here, his Warlord's going to fire into Ezekiel, hitting on 2s.
3.
Or hitting on 3s, sorry.
Never that good a shot.
Yeah. Strength, what is it again? 6, so wounding on 3s. So we've got 6 wounds. AP
Nothing.
AP nothing, so 2 up saves. And I dropped 1. All right, so I failed 1. All right, so now his Gaunts here are going to fire into my Razorback over here, hitting on 4s. And he's going to re-roll 1 of these because of being short 1 die. All right. That was a lot of misses. All right, and now these are going to be strength 4, so looking for 5s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. 2. 3 up saves. And I failed 1 of them. All right, his back Biovore squad. One's going to fire into this Razorback. The other's going to fire into this Razorback. We'll start with the one over here. That is a hit. Strength.
It's mortal wound on a 2-up.
A mortal wound on a 2-up, so it is dead. Does it explode? It does. We'll come back to that. All right, so he's only within 6 inches of the Genestealers there, so D3 mortal wounds. 2 mortal wounds. And then the one over here. That is not a hit. Rerolling 1s. I forgot about that. Still about a hit. All right, and this front Biovore is going to fire into the Predator over here. And on a 4, that's a hit. That is a wound. All right, now these two are going to fire into Ezekiel. They do have line of sight of him. They can see him up there because the new rules in Chapter Approved mean that they have to be visible and the closest model. So the closest model and it's visible so they can fire into him. Otherwise, even though they don't need line of sight, they wouldn't be able to shoot him if they couldn't see him. So here goes. Two misses. All right, so now his Raveners are going to fire. 2 of them are going to go into my Razorback. 3 of them are going to go into my Intercessors over here. So which one's first?
Razorback.
Razorback first, hitting on 4s. All right. Strength 5. So wounding on 5s. No wounds. And then into the Intercessors. Hitting on 4s. That one is another hit down in there. So that's 4 hits. Wounding on 3s because it's strength 5. So that is 3 wounds.
AP minus 1.
AP minus 1 plus 1 because of cover. So 3 ups. Make them all. All right, now his flying Hive Tyrant over here is going to fire into my Predator over here. So not the one he's closest to, the other one. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Ooh, that was...
This is why
he got distracted by the big one in front of him.
This is why they needed twin link.
This is why they needed the twin link back in the day. This is strength 6, right?
Yep.
So wounding on 5, so 1 wound. 3 up save. Oh, AP. Nothing. So 3 up save. Oh man. Make it with a 4. And now the Hive Guard are gonna fire everything into my Predator over here. So these are gonna be hitting on 4s. All right. Strength 8. So wounding on 3s. Regardless, that's 3 wounds. AP minus 2. So looking for 5 ups. Making 2 of them. So that is 3 damage, right?
D3.
Oh, D3 damage. 1 damage. All right, that's it for shooting phase. On to the assault phase. His Genestealers are actually going to charge just into my Primaries over here. So we've got 10 shots. Hitting on 6s. Getting 2 hits. These are going to be strength 4 wounding on 4s. Getting 1 wound, AP minus 1. He's good. And their charge distance totally in. Ooh,
3.
Actually just barely in, but still enough to get him in. I actually had 4 1s in that for the Overwatch, so I'm now going to roll them, re-roll them because of Grim Resolve, so that the you guys don't yell at me anymore. No, see, the dice knew what they were doing, so I don't get to re-roll a 1 again. So we're all good. And now his Flying Hive Tyrant here is going to charge into my Razorback. Firing Overwatch here. 12 shots with the Twin Assault Cannon. All right, getting 1 hit. He doesn't get to re-roll because of whatchamacallits. Is not a wound. And now the Stormbolter. No hits there. So his charge distance is totally in with a 7. And now the Gaunts are going to charge in there. They are in. And now his Flying Hive Tyrant is going to charge into my Predator over here. I really need some lucky 6s here. 4 shots. Give me 6s. Fill faces. No, none of them. His charge distance totally in. And the Raveners are going to charge into my Intercessors up here. Overwatch getting 1 hit. Whoop. That is a wound. AP minus 1. 5 is good.
Nope.
No. Oh, no. Okay.
Minus 1.
Oh, okay. They've got a 5. So they take 1 wound there. All right. So they're looking for a 7-inch charge. And they get it. All right. So starting the fight phase, his Hive Tyrant here is going to attack into my Predator. Hitting on, he's still up there, right? So he's hitting on 3s, or 2s. So that is 3 hits. Strength 6. So looking for 5s to wounds. That's 2 wounds.
And reroll.
Rerolls because of the monstrous claws. And that's 2 wounds, AP minus 3. So looking for 6 up. Show me them fill faces. Nope, not getting anything. 5s, really? Gotta rub it in like that. And that's 2d3 damage. So 1, 2, 3 damage. All right, now he's gonna activate his Genestealers over here. So he's got 3 of the Acid Maul guys and 4 of the regular guys got into combat. So we've got the Acid Mauls first. Hitting on 3s. Pretty good. Wounding on 4s. All right, so that is 6 ups. 6 ups. Show me them fill faces. Getting 1 fill face. So that means that 2.5 are dead. And now the regular guys are going in, hitting on 3s.
Very good.
Very good. Ooh. Ooh. All right, minus 8 wounding on 4s.
Oh my god.
Oof. Those 6s are AP minus
4.
4, right? So those are just going to go through. So that's 2 guys dead, and then how many?
4 ups.
4 ups. If I fail any of these, that whole squad is wiped. And I failed 3 of them. Brutal. All right, so now his Ravener's going to come in here. One of them ended up fine, but the other one's going to have wobbly model syndrome, so he's got 2. He's decided 2 guys get to have their attacks up here. These are now going to be hitting on 3s.
Rerolling 1.
Rerolling 1s. Okay. And strength
4.
4, so looking for 4s to wound. We've got 4 wounds. AP nothing, so 4 3-ups. And I failed 2 of them. And now his Hive Tyrant's going to attack into his into my Razorback over here. That is hitting on 3s now. Wounding on 5s. Got 1 wound. AP minus 2, so 5 up.
AP minus nothing.
Oh, AP minus nothing, so he is good. And his tail attack. That is a hit. That is a wound. Oh, that's a fail, and he is dead. So it doesn't make a difference. Does he explode, though? No, he does not. And then he's going to attack in here with his tail. We forgot about that one. So hitting on a 3, that's good. That is a wound. Really? D3 damage? Oh, what? Of course it does. Well done. All right, so now my sergeant's going to attack back. 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is 3 hits. Strength 4, toughness 4, so wounded on 4s. Getting 2 wounds.
5 ups.
5 ups, makes them both. And then D3 over here. 1 attack. No hit. All right, so that is the end of the Tyranid turn here. No morale test to be taken. At the end of his player turn, he killed a unit and he controls an objective, so he gets that point. At the end of the game turn, he killed more units than me and he controls more objectives than me. And he gets the bonus point for the mission because he controls all 4 objectives. So that's pretty brutal and pretty good job on his part. So we will come back to you after a movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 3. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 3. Ezekiel stood still. This Predator stood still. This Predator backed out of combat with the Flying Hive Tyrant. My Warlord, my Primaris Lieutenant, has moved down bravely, or stupidly, depending upon how you want to look at it. My Scouts over there have stood still, and that's it. That's all I got here. So we will come back to you with the Psychic phase. All right, starting off, Ezekiel is going to cast Smite onto the Spore Mine over there. It goes off. So he is, yeah, he did. Oh, it went off on an 8?
On a 7.
Oh, on a 7 because it's -1? Oh, no, 6, so it does go off, and he is, he did. And then Trephination onto his gaunts down there. Oh, it goes off with a 12! Oh, I'm gonna... well, I guess I have to. I just realized I have no command points. So he does perils, D3 wounds. 1 wound, down to 3. So...
Try to deny. 12.
He's going to try to deny on a 12. Ooh, I saw that 6 first. But no, the one there. So it does go off. So he's down to oh, I'm sorry, he's down to 3 wounds, not 5 wounds. He healed himself with the perils there. So now hold on a second. Yep. All right, so now I'm going to roll 2d6 plus 2. 7 plus 2 becomes a 9. Their leadership is 5, so 4 Termagants are dead. All right, that's it for Psychic phase. Into the shooting phase, we're just going to get right at it. Predator into his Flying Hive Tyrant there. 4 shots, hitting on 3s. Whoop. Okay, so we got 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. Getting 2 wounds. Failing both of them. And doing 7 damage. And now the Stormbolter's firing into him. That is all but 1 hit. And that is 1 wound. That is, not a save.
Nope.
And now my Primaris Lieutenant's going to supercharge his plasma pistol into him. So that's 1 shot, hitting on a 3. That's a hit. Strength 8, wounding on toughness 7. So looking for a 3. That is a wound. AP minus 3. Goes through. So it does 2 damage to him. So he's down to 1 wound. All right, my lieutenant sergeant in here is going to fire his pistol. That's a hit. That is not a wound. And here comes the scouts are going to fire into the hive guard over here. So we got 5 shots hitting on 3s. All right. Wounding toughness 4. Oh, toughness 5. So wounding on 5. 6s do a mortal wound in addition. Getting 1 wound there. They are toughness 5. Whoop. The 1 save is made with a 5. And they are toughness. The hive guard.
Toughness 5.
Toughness 5. So that is the only wound, and he did make the save. And now Ezekiel's going to fire into the flying hive tyrant. He's got his special bolter. So hitting on a 2. That's a hit. Wounding on a 5. That is a wound. AP -1. He's good. All right, so that's it for shooting phase. Into the assault phase. My Primaris Lieutenant is going to charge into his flying hive tyrant. These are hitting on 6s. That's 2 hits. That is 1 wound. And that is a save. His charge distance is totally in. And now Ezekiel is going to charge into his flying hive tyrant here. So his blah blah blah. His miasma cannon. He's going to have D3 shots. So 3 shots hitting on 6s because he's not within range for auto hits. All right, and then do you have the devourers? No, 2 hits. Sorry, I was looking over there. I didn't see the ones that are closest to me. 1 wound, and he's good. So I need a 9-inch charge. Can he make it? No. Ooh, why? So much pain in the feels. All right, so that is going to be it for the assault. So we'll come back to you with the fight phase. All right, so we're going to start over here with my Primaris Lieutenant. He is going to be attacking in with the Heavenfall Blade, which gives him +1 attack, so he's going to have 5 attacks. Hitting on 2s. Oh, come on. So he's got 3 hits. Wounding on 5s. Rerolling 1s because of himself. Oh, that was a 6 over here. So we got 1 wound. AP -3. 4 up invul. He's good. And then my sergeant is going to attack. All hits. 1 wound. No save. All right, so now his flyrant is going to go in there. So we've got 4 attacks hitting on 4s because he's down to his lowest level there. Wounding on a 6 will do it.
That is
AP.
AP -6.
Oh, AP -6.
And 4 damage.
4 damage. So he's down to 1 wound. And the tail attack. That's a hit. That is a wound. AP nothing, so 3 up save. Oh, and he's good. All right, now we're coming here to the Raveners. These are going, 2 guys are in there, hitting on 3s. Wounding on 4s, right? 4s, pretty good. So that is 3, 6 wounds. AP nothing. So 6 3-ups. And I failed 2, so he is dead. All right, at the end of my turn, I did not kill a unit. I do not hold an objective, and I don't have any of my secondaries there, so a pretty brutal turn. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 3. All right, movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 3. His Rippers moved up towards my Predator over here. His Flying Hive Tyrant fell back out of combat around over to there. His Raveners are moving up over this way. His Genestealers advanced up that way towards my scouts. His Termagants stood back over here. His Flying Hive Tyrant jumped up there to say hello to Ezekiel. One of his spore mines got up on top there, so he's going to go off in Ezekiel's face over here. Everything over here just kind of stood still. His Flying Hive Tyrant over here moved over. Hive Guard stood still, and the Ripper Swarm over there stood still. So that is it for the movement phase for the Tyranids. We'll come back to you with the Psychic phase. All right, starting off, he is going to cast Psychic Scream into my Predator over here. 5, maybe doesn't go off, maybe goes off. We're going to find out. Yep, he needed 5, so that's D3 mortal wounds. 3 mortal wounds. And now he's going to smite my tank. Does not go off, and he's going to spend a command point. I was going to say that would have killed him, and that would have killed my warlord. Probably would have killed everybody over here if he had left it. But he doesn't want that to happen. So 4 does not go off, but he's not dead. So that's important. And now his flying hive tyrant here is going to smite into him. So -1 because of that. Ooh, no! So he perils D3 mortal wounds, 1 mortal wound. Now his warlord's gonna try to smite into Ezekiel. Oh man, it does go off because that would be -3, so it's just enough to go off.
-2.
-2. So I'm actually going to try to deny it. So that's -2, so it's at a 6. Is he within 12 inches of Ezekiel there? Can you find out? Yep. So he's gonna have +1 to this. So looking for a 6 is what I'm looking for. Oh, what a waste of 2 dice. Super denied. And then he is going to smite into him over here.
-3.
-3. No, does not go off. All right, into the shooting phase. 4 of these guys are going to shoot into the scouts, so we're just going to do them at the same time. Rerolling 1s. That's all hits. Strength, just on mortal wounds on 2 ups.
And that one's D3.
D3 mortal wounds. So 2, 3, 4, 5. They did. Oh, man. And then the one in front is going to fire into the predator over here. That is a hit. That is a mortal wound. And now the Raveners over here are going to fire into my predator. These are going to be hitting on 4s.
That was really good.
That was real good. Strength 4, so wounding on 5s.
Strength 5.
Oh, strength 5, so still wounding on 5s though.
Yeah.
So we've got 4 wounds.
-1.
4 -1, so 4 4-ups. Inception, making 3 of them. And now his warlord's going to fire into Ezekiel over here. So these are going to be hitting on 2s because he's
3s.
Oh, 3s. All right. Strength 6, right? So wounding on 3s. All right, so we got 5 wounds. AP nothing, right?
Yep.
So 2-ups. And I failed 2 of them. What? All right, so now this guy up here is going to fire his miasma cannon into my predator, and he's going to fire the devourers into Ezekiel. So we're going to go with the devourers first into Ezekiel. Coming over here. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure I picked up too many dice.
Okay. Sorry. Here we go. Hitting on 3s. Oh yes, hitting on 4s because he's wounded. No, still at 3s. Still at 3s because he's not this guy wounded. And now hitting on wounding on 3s. So we've got 3, 4, 5 wounds, 2-ups, and I make them all. That's what I needed. And then the D3 shots into the predator. That's cocked. All right, 3 shots.
Hitting on 3s.
Hitting on 3s. So that's 1 hit. That's cocked. That is a wound. AP -3, -2, so 5 up. Okay. No, goes through. 3 damage onto him. And now the Hive Guard are going to fire into my predator over here.
3.
Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Okay, pretty brutal. Wounding on 3s. Getting 5 wounds. AP -2, so 5 ups. Failing 4 of them. They're at least 1 wound each, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he did. Does he explode, though? That is the question. No, he does not. All right, so now into the assault phase, his Flying Hive Tyrant is going to charge into my lieutenant over here. He's going to supercharge. No, yes, because then I would wound on a... He's toughness, what, 7? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to supercharge. So here we go. Wanted shot with the plasma gun. Hitting on a 6. No, does not hit. His charge distance, 7 inches. Yeah, he's totally in. And now his rippers are going to charge into my predator. They're 7 inches away. I'm going to fire Overwatch. Oh, getting 1. That is a wound. No save, so D6 wounds. 6 wounds, so one of them's dead. And then they need a 7-inch charge. And they are totally in. And now he's going to charge into Ezekiel. He's going to fire an Overwatch with a crack grenade. Because why not? Nope, no hit there. He's totally in. And now the mine is just going to explode because he's within 3. And that's the mortal wound that he needed to kill Ezekiel. All right, so now we're going to start over here with his Hive Tyrant. Got 4 attacks hitting on 4s. Oh, man. Wounding on 3s, right? Yeah, so no wounds, but re-rolling because of his claws. Oh, and that 6 is going to be AP -4. Goes right through. Kills him. Boop. And now his Rippers will attack into my Predator. Oh, hitting on 5s. That was killer.
Wounding on 6s.
Wounding on 6s. Getting 1. But I make the save. All right, so now my Predator is going to attack into his Hive Tyrant who consolidated into him. So, hitting on a 6 with his 1 attack. Fill face? Oh, no, I really wanted that. That would have been funny. So that is the end of the Tyranid turn here on turn 3. Yeah, and that's going to be the end of the game. I've got 2 wounds left on 1 Predator over here, and I can't even back out of combat, so they're just going to go into it, and he's gonna mutilate me. It's just not going to happen. Well, I guess technically I could have killed him first. No, I don't. So yeah, no, I was going to die next turn, and it was just going to be tabled there. So yeah. Brilliant game there for the Tyranids. Evan just played it awesomely. After my first turn, I was like super stoked. I was like, this is going really well. I felt really good, popping off, like killing one of the Carnifexes, almost killing the other, wiping out most of his screen, getting those guys back over there. I was like, all right, this is going well. This is exactly what I needed to happen. And then he came in, and when he was placing it, he was like super frustrated because I like everywhere he like tried to place a guy, it was within 9 inches of one of my units because I had like covered like most of the board here. So he ended up placing them at the end. He was like, all right, I'm just gonna put them where I feel like I can. But then after that turn 1, when they just decimated me, yeah, that became super brutal. There were a couple times where it's like, if those Terminators had made that charge and gotten rid of that node over there, these Genestealers that then just rampaged through this entire side of me would have been dead. They wouldn't have been able to come out and attack over there. There were a couple times when things could have gone one way or the other, but that's the way the game is. And Evan played it fantastically. It was really interesting. I think it was a lot of fun. It gave me some ideas. The kill shot was awesome, being able to use that. And he knew he had to deny me kill shot a second time when he had all of his flying Hive Tyrants around over there, because that would have been pretty brutal again. So yeah, it was just a fun game. I had a really blast. My opponent was a ton of fun, and thank you for allowing me to come visit you at your home to play the game while I'm here. I'm up here in Virginia for the holidays, and when he saw that I was here, he invited me, and I came on over and we played a game. So this was a ton of fun. Make sure that you go check out his podcast, him and a couple guys of the Facing the Gray Tide. You can check them out on iTunes. You can check them out on Google Play. And they've got a blog. I'll put a link to their blog spot down in the description below, so you can go check it out. And they've got the links to all of their podcasts there, so you can check it out. His painting is fantastic, as you can see. Really great stuff. So it was a joy to have him here on the channel. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Evan. And until next time, have fun.